The logo, SOS, did you file a trademark for that?
No, we haven't.
Are you aware that somebody else did, and by you using it, you're actually infringing on their trademark?
Do you know?
Yes, ma'am, I do. I've got that documentation from the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office right here if you'd like to see it.
SOS Saenger,
Yes.
Saenger?
No, the SOS.
SOS, so we can't. All right, we will deal with that
That's
too.
it.
Thank you.
All right, and
It doesn't take anything to just take that off, so SOS.
well, it's an issue that, it needs to be addressed, because if you continue or somebody decides to, it can be a problem.
You also have posted a video on one of your sites that is covered with copyright, and you were asked to take it off, and you didn't.
I believe if you were the one that was responded to
Wasn't
that,
me that responded.
it was a link. It was actually not stored on that site.
We appreciate it, what you brought to our attention, and we will get to it personally.
And again, I'm not here to be a naysayer by no means. I'm actually behind the project, and actually called you, Jack, personally.
That
I
is
spoke to
correct,
you on
and
the
I told
phone
you that I would
before
meet
all
with
this.
you. I told you on the phone and also on Facebook that I was going to be out of town for a week, and I would meet with you the first week of September.
Yes, sir.
Do you remember that?
Yes, sir, I do. We had a very detailed conversation, and during that conversation, there was a lot of give and take about it, and there was a lot of things said.
Right.
And following that, you did say that you would be out of town, and I see you the week following that.
That's correct.
And that there would be a lot of questions answered, and I said, that's great, because there's a lot of people that have, whenever I asked you that first question on the internet, I got inundated. Everybody just bombed me, coming out of everywhere, if I can be allowed to continue to speak, making accusations about you deleting
people
donors.
that you were inundated with was 6 to 8 people. It wasn't inundated.
I would have to disagree. It was several more than 6 or 8 people.
I've seen it too.
Okay. And are you aware that some of the people that you've actually deleted and removed from the site were actually paid donors that are listed?
That's correct. That is correct. Now, I'm glad they refund their money. In fact, one of those gentlemen that I removed, I sent him a letter, and it was returned to me because he gave me the incorrect address to send it to. And I still have that letter at home.
And your justification for that was just because he was asking questions?
I'm sorry?
And your justification for removing him was because he was asking questions?
If you remember, I posted some rules of what we were going to do going forward. And it was posted immediately after that. And those rules were, if you come up with liable statements, if you start doing things outside of the scope of what that page is intended to, and that is to support and raise money for the Saenger, that the author could be deleted at the discretion of Old Town Theater. Now, going forward, what we have done, I'm out of the loop. There's 4 people, I'm not going to tell you who they are, that will look at Facebook, and if something comes up like that again, they will recommend to me whether or not to delete it and take those people off.
And it's a board action also.
That is correct.
Everything is board. There's nothing one person.
Okay.
So
I'm not glad they refund anybody's money that wants it. All they got to do is send me back the letter that I sent. Because you can't.
That's another issue, because you've actually put a statement that you're not going to give a letter if it's under $20.
That's not correct.
You did not post a statement saying that if
No,
it's
I
not
did not.
$20 or more, you would not send out a letter?
No, I did not.
No.
You're badly mistaken.
$20 or more, we have written every single letter out.
$20 or more.
Absolutely.
That's what I just said.
In fact, I just noticed yesterday.
So if anybody pays $10,
Just let me finish, will you
they're not
please?
going to get a letter?
Will you please let me finish?
Sure, go ahead.
I just saw yesterday, in looking at the IRS rules, that I have to send a letter out to all donations. So I've got to go in next week and type those letters up and get them out to all donations, not just above 20. So I was in error at that. But that is part of the IRS rules, and I just found that out yesterday.
Okay, so to clarify, you did put something on there saying that if they didn't give $20 or more, you weren't going to send
Well, I
out a
made
letter.
that
And
decision.
you're correcting that issue
That
now.
is correct. And
Okay.
I made that decision because it does cost something to send letters out.
Well, you don't have to actually mail it. You can send it by the internet. I mean,
Well, I do it by letter
well, that's your choice.
because I typically don't have those people's email address.
On the structure of the financial and the layout and the organization of the different people, you had an accounting on there. Is that one of the 2 people that is authorized to sign checks or payments to release funds?
I don't understand what your question.
you had an accountant listed.
Right.
Okay, is he one of the two people that is authorized to sign checks or release funds from the donated
There's
funds?
two people that are required to sign checks.
Yes, and those two people are?
That person and Kathy Rod, or one of the other board members. Actually, the way it's set up in the bank, it's 3 people can sign for checks. The person holding that's managing the account, and Kathy Rod.
Okay, so Kathy is one. Who are the other two?
It's me,
So you, Kathy,
the 3 of us,
Or the treasurer.
or the treasurer.
Okay.
And it has to be 2 signatures on it.
As you
Those
know,
are not bank rules, those are our rules.
I get that. That wasn't a question. Now I do have a list of other questions that many people have sent me, and it's far more than just 7 people. And I did
Well, a
submit
lot of
it to.
those questions, if they're the ones you posted, I probably will not address them because it's going back too far in time to be able to address it.
That's fine, but still, that would be an answer rather than not saying anything at all. And a lot of people that are basically in a holding pattern, not wanting to donate until you basically correct the PR issue and kind of tone down the attitude. They're wanting just the basic questions answered.
Maybe there's some other folks who have an attitude coming toward me. If somebody attacks me, I have a tendency to attack back, right or wrong. I'm having to change the way I've done business for the last 30 years and become a little more political in the way I say things. I haven't had to do that before in the business that I've been in. I've dealt with engineers. We talk to each other at a level like that. But with the public, I need to lighten up some of my answers. I'll admit that.
I would appreciate that. And a lot of people would like to hear that.
People on Facebook and on some of the other Facebook sites that have nothing to do with Old Town Theater and the Saenger Theater officially would kind of tone down some of their things. So it's a two-way street here.
Yeah. But as far as fundraising, you're the leader. You're the face on it.
That's true. But you're the face on some other sites.
I wouldn't, not necessarily. But on the Save Singer, you're the face, so the PR buck stops with you. And so
That's
in
right,
order to
it
get
does.
that corrected, what I'm asking today is the attitude. Can we work on that? And even though you might not be able to have the answers to these questions that I have and already submitted, and I give you a copy here, would you please, to address the PR issue, to start getting funding back in, at least answer, hey, we've looked into it, we don't have the answer.
effectively stopped all fundraising for the last 3 weeks.
Well, actually, that was actions by you whenever you
No, it was
blew
not.
up. You blew up and said that you lost your
was not
temper.
actions. You started asking questions about the legitimate ownership and about me personally. And I talked to legal counsel and was advised to just not respond.
Actually,
So
I didn't question your integrity. I just told you facts.
Somebody did.
I told
Okay,
you, told
your
you
time
facts
is
of
up.
what was posted.
Yeah, you got it. We don't have
This is a list of questions. If you would take care of that, I'm sure that would address the PR issues and start getting funding coming back in.
Get out. Post office line, 1868, Bluff, 71611. Or you can go onto the website and do a PayPal.
Okay, let's move on. We had another person in the back there that had their hand up.
No, I'm just going to address the issue of staying with the tax.
Okay, do we have any more questions?
Old Town Borough Center. That is P.O. Box Bluff 71611.
And then you can also go on the website,
That's correct. It is www.saenger.pk.